Hey, what's up guys? It's Slayer back here again with another video, man. Late night, sitting outside of my work, just waiting to get in and put in some of that work, you know what I'm saying? I told you guys that I was gonna get a video up today. Better late than never, right? I've just been extremely busy. As you guys know, I've started my IOP program. If you guys don't know what that is, that's intensive outpatient. So that's 3 days a week, 4 to 5 hour sessions, sometimes 3 hour sessions, depending on how many people show up. And that's been really good, man. I started family counseling. I go to that on Thursdays now with my parents because there's just a lot of issues there, man, that need to be solved. We're trying to figure out what the hell happened in not only my life, but my brother's lives and just my entire family. We're just trying to, figure out some stuff, put some pieces together. The counselor that we have is actually blind, 100% blind. But this dude, he's awesome, man. Like, he's pretty sharp, he's a super cool person. I kind of thought when, I heard that he was blind, I was like, really? That's kind of interesting. And he's just a super cool dude, so that's been a good experience. I'm obviously, since I'm sitting outside of work, I'm back to work again. I work 5 nights a week, so that keeps me busy as well. And then all the outside, stuff that I'm doing on top of it, including YouTube. I wanted to thank you guys as well, all the new subscribers, all the old subscribers that have been around since the get-go, man. The love and the support that you guys showed on that last video is just mind-blowing. It's one of, just within 6 to 7 days, it's one of my most viewed videos. People were there just dropping wisdom, giving advice, showing unconditional love. And from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you guys. I do appreciate it. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a quick update, let you guys know that I'm sober. It has been 17 days now, going on 18 days tomorrow, since my last drink. And I'm going strong, man. There has been some cravings, there has been some, temptation there, but it hasn't been anything very strong. It really hasn't. Quickly, I remind myself of the chaos that I just went through, that I'm still going through, man. I'm still having panic attacks, I'm still having severe anxiety, and I'm still not feeling 100%. And I know that if I picked up that bottle again, everything would just go downhill fast. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about just real quick, about how fast our addiction progresses, how quickly it goes from something fun to absolute and complete disaster, to this seems like this is going to be part of my life, to this is absolutely destroying my life. One of the kids that was in my IOP group, he was graduating, and I say kid because he's 22, and he was court ordered to be there. There's some people that are at this group that, like me, I chose to be there. I'm not being forced to be there. But then there's some others that, they got in some kind of legal trouble and now they're forced to be there. And a lot of the times, at least in my experience, when I've met the people that are forced to be there, you can kind of tell they don't give a crap. And I always am trying to explain to these people, I know that you don't give a crap and you just feel like you're being forced to do this and it's a bunch of BS, but it's just not worth going down that road. And everybody around the table is supposed to give this kid some advice, moving forward. We're all just supposed to drop some knowledge on him, whatever knowledge we might have. And when it got around to me, I told him, I was like, man, I'm in my later 20s. And from the time that I was 22 to now, the amount of shit that has changed blows my mind. I had some consequences by the time that I was 22. I did. But nothing like what was to come just a few years later. I thought that I had everything under control. And little did I know, health problems. I lost my girlfriend. I lost multiple friendships with my family and my friends. I destroyed so much, including destroyed parts of myself in that time period. And it always starts out so innocent. I've said it before I became an alcoholic, I was a giant pothead. And for anybody that might want to jump in the comments and say, well, marijuana isn't addictive, it's definitely mentally addictive, man. I don't care what anybody says. It's mentally addictive. And for some people, they've even said that it's physically addictive. They've gotten withdrawals and stuff. And I remember when I first started smoking, how innocent it was. I just did it with my friends, you know, something to do on the weekend, something to do to have fun, to kick back. And I'll never forget that very first time that I actually went out and purchased it on my own, because every other time I would just do it when friends had it, and it stayed at bay that way. And I'll never forget, hitting my friend up and asking her for some, and that just started something that I wasn't even ready for. That started a snowball effect in my life that I've kind of been dealing with ever since, which is addiction. I bought some that night, and that it did. I remember it lasted me quite a while, but I ended up smoking that, and I went back and bought more, and went back and bought more, and bought more, and bought more, and bought more. And before you knew it, I was smoking 1 gram, 2 grams, sometimes 3 grams in a day, wasting all of my money on it. And just that quick before I knew it, I was completely wrapped up in it. I felt like I couldn't live without smoking marijuana. I'm not even joking, guys. It was almost to the point that, and I don't have this relationship with weed nowadays. I try to stay away from it for the most part, but I don't have this addictive personality with it. I don't know, weed changed for me for whatever reason, but it was definitely something that I could never see myself living without. And that naturally kind of led me into my alcoholism. Alcohol was cheaper, and alcohol is just a great way of relieving your anxiety at the beginning. And I am someone who has carried a lot of anxiety most of my life. I have severe anxiety disorder. I have severe panic disorder. It's something that, has kind of came and went, that I've dealt with my entire life. And when I started drinking, all those feelings went away in the beginning. And it did. It was the same thing with drinking, man. Started out so innocent. I would do it with my friends. I do it here and there. It was something that, and when I turned 21, it was even pretty innocent there for a little bit. I'd go out with my girlfriend and buy some drinks and hang out and go home, and I'd go to the store and pick out different bottles, and it was this fun thing, man. And I wasn't paying and reaping all the consequences, and that come from the drinking yet. And it's such an illusion, man. It's such an illusion. I knew nothing. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know what I was truly getting myself into until it was too late. That's when I realized. One day, it was no longer fun. I don't know. I can't remember specifically when it happened, but I know one day, after drinking pretty much every single day, I woke up one day and I just did not feel good. I felt absolutely horrible. And once you're physically addicted, man, things start to go downhill quick. And I think a lot of these young people and a lot of people that are early in their addiction, they haven't reached that physical point yet. But trust and believe, if you continue to drink, if you continue to use heroin or whatever your drug of choice is, your body and your mind are going to get addicted. And once it's addicted, you're not only dealing with a physical war, you're dealing with a spiritual war, man. I don't care what anybody says. Addiction is a spiritual warfare. It's almost like you could think about your addiction almost like a leech. Once it's attached to you, it just sucks the life out of you. And the more that you feed it, the more that we drink, the more that we partake in whatever that substance is, the bigger that leech gets, the more blood it fills up with. And it's like a parasite. And that parasite's job is to kill our ass, man. Like, for real. It's a spiritual war on top of a physical battle, and then it's an emotional war. I've been like this, like a roller coaster these last 17 days. And, I've been sober for 3 months. That's the longest that I've been sober in years. And so I know that this is all part of the process. I know that the emotional battle gets easier, but there's an emotional war that comes with it too. It's like once you start to feel better physically, then the emotional war starts to come in. And because you've been suppressing all of your emotions and you've just been feeding your brain dopamine. And now that dopamine's gone, your brain does not know how to function. At least my brain doesn't know how to function sober. I would legit run to the bottle for everything in my life. In those 3 months, And these weeks at a time that I've been sober this time around, it's like I'm really starting to realize that I have to completely like relearn how to live, man. I don't and that sucks because, and I've pointed it out before, like I've always kind of had anxiety and all that stuff, but ever since the drinking, things have increased again. It's like I'm having the same type of horrible anxiety and panic that I used to get back in the day. It's not fun. It's not a good time. And yeah, man, it starts out with just some beer, buying beer, hanging out with the friends, and then, oh, well, maybe we should buy beer a couple times a week instead of once a week. And then maybe 3 times a week. And then you realize that your friends who aren't alcoholics really don't want to drink that much. So then it's just like, well, I'll just buy it myself. And then you start drinking 4 times a week. And 2 of those times a week, you're drinking by yourself. Next thing you know, you're drinking 5 days out of the week. And you're giving yourself 2 days. I'll give myself 2 days because I need to get healthy, and I'll eat a lot of fruit and I'll eat a lot of vegetables on that day, and I'll make sure to order a salad and drink lots of water so I can balance that out. But after those 2 days are gone, I'm getting right back to my drinking. And then you realize after that 5th day of going through that cycle again, you wake up on that 6th day and you say, oh my God, I feel like absolute and utter death. I feel like I'm gonna die. Well, maybe I'll drink today, but I'll take tomorrow off. You drink that 6th day, you go to sleep, next thing you know, you're drinking that 7th day, and now you're in the cycle of drinking every single day. And before too long, the physical aspect starts, and now you have to. You're waking up and you're puking. You're waking up sick. You're waking up shaking. You can't even hold anything together. You can't even concentrate. You try to focus on something, and your brain is back here. The old thing, your brain on a frying pan, the scrambled egg, that's where your brain is at. You're trying to figure out, you can't even focus on anything. Your job is calling you, where are you at? Where are you at? You have so much pressure on you. You feel like you're gonna die. What do? Well, you go and you drink. And now, it's like I've pointed out in the last video, the hamster wheel, the cycle continues. And it only gets worse and worse and worse, man. I made the one video I think it was called When I Realized That I Had a Drinking Problem. And when it really set in for me, and it's like I pointed out in the video, was when I got fired from my first job. And really, that's when my drinking really, really went downhill. I mean, it really started at that point. And I went on, probably, no exaggeration, guys, maybe some people think that I'm lying when I say this, I probably went on about a 1.5-year bender. And I'm talking no days missed, not one single day missed, wasted for like a 1.5 years. And that was, after that was like one of the first times that I tried to quit. That's when I went through delirium tremens and all this other crazy crap happened to me. And it was just, it's living hell. It's living hell. I wouldn't, and I've said it before, man, I wouldn't suggest anybody who's a heavy drinker to detox alone or by themselves. Do a medical detox. You can literally die. The horror stories that I have of me trying to white knuckle it through withdrawal, it's just insane. And so, I mean, if anybody's out there at the beginning of their addiction and, you guys are thinking, maybe I have a problem, maybe I don't, please just stop. Please just assume that you do have a problem. If you feel a calling towards it, if you feel like you need to do it, it's something that you need. It's something that you need. You probably have a problem with it, because we shouldn't need any of that bull crap. We shouldn't need booze. We shouldn't need weed. We shouldn't need any substance to make us feel happy. That's where trying to find that inner peace, man. Trying to find that inner zen inside of ourselves so we don't have to run to alcohol and we don't have to run to drugs as our escape. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. At the end of the day, that's what I'm doing. When I go and I drink, I'm trying to escape from my emotions and my pain and my trauma that I've went through. I've went through a lot of stuff, man, and it messes with me. We all have demons. We all have problems. Don't you ever let anybody fool you. Every single person on this earth has problems. I don't care if you're rich. I don't care if you're poor. I don't care what the color of your skin is. I don't give a crap. Every single person on this earth has problems. And it's about figuring out how we can solve these problems without running towards something negative like alcohol or drugs or, gambling or having a bunch of sex or whatever it is, man. And it's just something that if I could go back in time and prevent myself from ever picking up a drink, I 100% would have. if I would have known what I know now, I would have went and gotten help sooner. You know, I wouldn't have put myself through all those dangerous situations that I did. Maybe I'd be in a better spot right now. I didn't know enough about it. I thought to myself, I know everything, like a lot of us do. A lot of us addicts think that we know best and we got it on our own and we don't need any help. Let me handle it. I don't need to go to AA. I don't need a program. I don't need to tell anybody when I'm struggling. I've got it. And you know where that usually leads? That leads us right back into the liquor store. At least me. Like every time that I've tried to just be like, you know what? Screw you guys. I got it. It doesn't go very well. You know, man? It's a wild ride. It's a wild, wild ride, you know? I was just thinking about that earlier. All the crazy shit that I've been through, man, it's just absolutely insane. I have a story that I'm going to tell you guys, I think, in the next video, which is just tragic. It's a tragically embarrassing, wild, funny, crazy story from when I was drinking. It was one of the worst times in my drinking. It was shortly after my ex left me, and I just went on this spiral, man. I was drinking insane amounts of liquor. I put myself in extremely dangerous situations, and there is this story that I need to tell you guys that is going to blow your guys' mind. Because I just have crazy experiences. You know, putting myself in horrible, horrible situations is a normal thing for us addicts and alcoholics, man. And we don't need to live like that. We don't need to live like that. We don't need to be deceivers and are, you know, because, man, when I'm in active drinking, my entire world revolves around drinking. That's all that matters to me, is when I can get the next drink. I let everything, including myself, go to the wayside for that next drink. And we don't have to live like that, man. We can live and take care of ourselves. We can live and take care of our family, our kids, you know, be productive members of society, you know, feel proud about ourselves, because nobody wants to be in active addiction, man. Let's be honest. Most people that are in active addiction, they want out, and they just don't know how to get out. And that's why we have each other. That's why we need each other as addicts, is to help one another get out. I really do feel like it's our responsibility to help one another out. I do. Maybe you guys don't agree with that. And that's why I think it's so important for communities on this channel, and like on LD's channel, and Backcountry, and Shades of Clarity, and Anna. I forget I think it's your last name. You know who you are. You've made a lot of videos on your sobriety. Shout out to you, Anna, and every single other person that has came out. It's okay to talk. I haven't seen him upload in a while, but he has also shared his journey. And the people that came before us, like Delirium Dirk, rest in peace, Sacred Serpent, and a few other people that, you know, I haven't mentioned. We need these communities. And I see this wave of like all these sober channels coming out and communities growing. And I think, man, we could be at the beginning of really changing the way that people view alcohol. We really could save lives. We could save people from going down the path that I've went down, the path that LD's went down, the path that so many of you guys have went down. We need to help one another, man. And I know I'm just kind of ranting at this point. I'm on break, kind of all over the place. I mostly just wanted to give you guys a quick update, let you guys know that I am sober, I'm going strong, just taking it one day at a time, man. I'm still going to my Bible study on Monday. I try to pray as much as I possibly can, and I'm doing what I can do to stay sober, because for each and every single one of us as well, it's different. Even though we're all so similar with our addiction. I mean, we're the same people pretty much when it comes to our addiction, but how you're going to get sober, the interesting thing, and it's kind of cool, it's entirely unique and special to you, to the individual. Because one way and one method for somebody that works for them to get sober might not work for you, and vice versa. Something that you do that helps you stay sober might not, you know, help them. It's about figuring it out, man. It's about doing some soul searching. I have taken your guys' advice to heart. I've listened to your guys' wisdom. I've listened to your guys' knowledge. And I really, you know, you want to keep yourself busy, but at the same time, you don't want to keep yourself busy because you're just running away from your problems. Because we do need to deal with our problems. And so I've been taking time where I just kind of meditate, man. I get down, I pray, and I face my issues and my trauma, and I look them head on. I look them in the eyes, and it hurts, and it's painful. And I've cried, and I scream sometimes, and I get mad, and I don't know how to deal with it. But at the same time, I'm slowly starting to feel some healing happening because I'm not turning away from it. I'm trying to learn how to forgive myself. I'm trying to learn how to get back to who I know that I am. I'm not a bad person. I'm not just saying that, guys. I'm really not. I'm a chill dude. I'm a very kind person. I want the best for not only myself, but other people in my heart. But when I drink, it turns me into, it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You know, you're going to get 3 versions of me when I drink. Number 1, you're going to get lovey-dovey. Oh, I want to hug you. I want to, kiss on you. You're my best friend. Number 2, philosophical slayer. Thinking that I'm a genius. Thinking that I'm making up, in ideas that are going to change the world. And then the next day I wake up and I don't even remember anything that I said. Or you got number 3 slayer, which is the nutcase psycho slayer. I've gotten in fights with dudes and stuff while I've been drinking, but I've never been a violent type of drinker. I've never hit my ex-girlfriend, never hit anybody, never did anything like that. But I was definitely the type of drinker and am the type of drinker that my emotions, and if my demons start to come out, I could punch a hole in the wall, I could throw something, I could, do stupid, crazy shit. Get in my car and drive 100 miles an hour down the road, go and literally just walk into a gas station, just steal bottles of alcohol. That's something that I didn't do very often, man. But when I was wrapped up in my addiction, I did, man. It's very sad and shameful to say there was a few times that I'd walk in and just take a couple bottles off the shelf, put them in my shirt or put them in my pants or whatever and walk straight out. Because when I'm wrapped up in my addiction, and every single time that I ever did that, I was highly intoxicated. It was like a mixture between being highly intoxicated and being freaked out because I know that my bottle, that I'm about to go through withdrawals here in a few hours, and I have ran out of money, and I need my next fix. I need my next fix, man. I need my next fix. So I'm going to do anything that I can to get it. And again, that's not who I am. I'm not a thief. I'm not a liar. I'm not a deceiver. And that's what my addiction turns me into. It turns me into an absolute monster. And on top of it, it destroys me. So if you're out there and you're struggling and you're thinking that, I got this under control, I don't need to worry about it, trust and believe me, man. Me and pretty much every single other person on this channel, we told ourselves that 1,000 times. And look at where we ended up. Look at where I ended up. I'm sitting here making these YouTube videos, and I love this. I love making these YouTube videos. I love that I've gotten the chance to meet you guys. But it's like, maybe this could have been prevented. Maybe I could have prevented this from happening if I would have gotten the help, if I would have just understood and realized that what a serious problem my drinking really was, instead of ignoring it and being ignorant to it to the point that it slapped me upside my face. And now I'm being I'm not forced. I can do whatever I want. If I wanted to go buy a bottle right now, I could. But I know that it wouldn't be long that I'd end up in the hospital. And it's just not worth it, man. It's life and death. It's incarceration or freedom. It's having a home and having things that you value, or being homeless on the street. Come on, guys. The decision should be clear to us. We need to be sober. We need to be sober, and we know it. And not a damn person can do it for you except for you. And not a damn person is going to be able to do it for me except for me. Nobody, not my parents, not my ex. If my ex decided to come back tomorrow and say, hey, I'm sorry, blah, 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 and made everything right, that wouldn't fix me. It's a personal issue, and we can fix it with some soul searching, some digging, and, we have each other to help, we help each other along the way on getting to that process of being healed. You guys have commented, and I 100% agree. This is something that I don't want to be battling for the rest of my life. I don't want in 5 years from now, if I'm still sober, to still be like, damn, this sucks. And I know that the cravings and the temptations will always be there, just from talking to people that have long-term sobriety. But there's a difference between someone who has long-term sobriety and they're genuinely happy, like you could tell they're genuinely happy, and then somebody who has long-term sobriety and they're absolutely miserable. Like, there was a dude in an AA meeting that I went to once, and he had like 45 years of sobriety, and this dude was a dry drunk. He was a dry drunk, man. He was a miserable human being, and that's 40 plus years of sobriety, and he has probably been miserable all of those years. That's not what I want, and that's not what I want for any of you. So it's really more than just getting sober. It's also about putting in the work to fixing and repairing your broken self, man, because we're broken people, and that's okay. We'll make it through, man. We'll make it through. I'm going to keep updating you guys. I'm going to keep you guys filled in. Again, I'm sorry that this video is kind of all over the place. It was mostly, like I said, just to let you guys know what's going on. It's been too long. I'm just super busy. I have a lot of work to do, so I'm going to get in and do some work, man. And yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. This YouTube channel, I just need to get the ideas that are in my head implemented. And I think now that I'm taking sobriety seriously, I think this channel is just going to do amazing things. I'm going to put the ideas and the projects and the videos that I have in my mind actually on the screen for you guys. Because again, it's like if I keep, drinking, these things are just never going to happen. But yeah, thank you guys. I love you guys. If you watched to this point, I appreciate you more than you know. Yeah, let's take it one day at a time. We got this, guys. And yeah, till next time. I'll see you guys real soon. All right? Stay safe. Stay sober. Let's keep getting it, man. Peace.